Welcome to the Wednesday, April 29, 2026 Commission meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order and have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Markler?
Here.
Commissioner Mallory?
Here.
Commissioner Rowe?
Here. We're going to do we've got our last three community service presentations, and then we'll move on to the rest of the agenda. Do we have someone here from Otero? So we'll move on to CAPT.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You have before you our proposal for funding.
Okay, would you state your name for the record?
Yes, I
That's
will,
better.
Miss Vicki. I'm Teresa Van I'm the Executive Director of CAPT. And we put in a proposal for community services funding. I will tell you that I still have not found an organization that will cover simple operating expenses. And our expenses go up every year because insurance goes up every year. We are now fully insured for the Labyrinth and CAPT and our programs and services. And that has taken the last 2 years to get that in order. Your funding is essential. And we're doing wonderful things at CAPT and at the Labyrinth. Can you go ahead and show those videos for me, please? Okay. Believe it or not, additional improvements have been made since that video was taken. And we now have gravel completely around. We have a parking lot. We were able to get cross ties from the railroad. So we've been able to outline the I get so nervous when I speak. But it continues to grow. Larry's out there this morning with one of our volunteers pouring concrete for bench tops. We have 100 benches that will be done around the labyrinth, making it into an outdoor amphitheater. We have tents that will go completely around so we can have pop-up events, all different kinds. But all of this money is specifically tied to deliverables for the labyrinth. So we have a pot of money that can be used for nothing else but this, which makes it difficult when we have capped the expenses of the building and operating expenses. We also have had just recently a very successful event. The first kite festival at Trinity Turtle. Go ahead and show that one, please. I was working on it last night trying to get it put together. The second video, please.
Hey, Clara, this is the kite.
Here, come get it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's just your size, isn't it?
Hey, surprising how fun that is, isn't it?
It is, actually.
So, oh, well, kites bring out the kid in all of us, and we were delighted to see the turnout. It was much bigger than we thought. Thankfully, we had enough hot dogs, and we had a couple that was 90 or 83 years old that came out to watch. And Virginia Darnell, she called me afterwards and said that they had enjoyed it so much and thanked me for putting it on. So go ahead and show those two pictures. This is a picture of the labyrinth about 2 weeks ago. You can see all of the picnic tables on pedestals all the way around. We were working on the parking lot at that time, and you can see the parking lot there on the bottom right-hand corner. And then the last one, please. The only thing that's left to do on that side is the last of the gravel going in around the center. But we have the money to do the rest of the things from the grant from the Department of economic development, long-term, no, outdoor recreation trails plus, okay? So I have with me my board soon-to-be president, Mark McCree, and Linda Ray. And I thank them for coming, and I hope you can grant us the funding that we requested. Any questions?
I don't have any of you.
No, I just want to make a comment that I think you're going to be our second economic driver in Alamogordo. You know, we have the shooting range that attracts everybody coming in.
I need to speak up a
You
little
also
bit.
attract everybody coming in. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah. You also attract travelers and that alike. So I think you're a great asset to our community.
Thank you. We have 2 campers out there. I drive by in the morning and see who's come in. Now, we make $20, $25 a night for those campers. But they are driving economic development. They say that when a person, traveler, stays overnight in our community, they generate $310 per person in the community. And if they drive through, they might be $30 for gas, or maybe $50 for gas now, okay? And that's all I have. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're early for the fair.
And I did confirm an email from Miss Atlee. She was supposed to be here
For
at
the
9
fair.
o'clock.
Okay.
You want to go to the proclamation?
Yeah, I'll do that, and then we'll. Okay, I probably need to go ahead and get a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's kind of off today too.
It's a weird day. I mean, we're out of order. I know, we're like buried in it up here. Okay, so under new business, we have our proclamation for the National Day of Prayer. Declaring May 7th, 2026 as National Day of Prayer in Otero County, New Mexico. Whereas the people of Otero County, New Mexico recognize the importance of faith, unity, and prayer in strengthening our communities and guiding our leaders. And whereas the National Day of Prayer is an annual observance held on the first Thursday of May, inviting people of all faiths to join in prayer for our nation, state, and local communities. And whereas the 2026 National Day of Prayer theme, Glorify God among the nations, seeking Him in all generations, calls upon all people to seek God with humility, gratitude, and reverence across every generation. And whereas this year's theme is inspired by a prayer of thanksgiving offered by King David in 1 Chronicles 16, reminding us of God's enduring presence and faithfulness throughout history. And whereas Otero County acknowledges the role of prayer throughout the history of the United States, especially as our nation approaches the celebration of 250 years of independence, recognizing the faith and perseverance of those who sought God's guidance in establishing and preserving liberty. And whereas it is fitting and proper for the citizens of Otero County to come together in reflection, repentance, thanksgiving, and renewed commitment to the values that sustain our communities and nation. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Otero County Board of County Commissioners hereby declares May 7th, 2026 as National Day of Prayer in Otero County, New Mexico, and encourages all residents to observe this day through prayer, reflection, and acts of unity within their homes, places of worship, and community gatherings. Be it further proclaimed that the following prayer be recognized and shared as part of this observance. 2026 National Prayer. Almighty God, King of glory, we confess our sins and repent of our pride that sought our own glory and comfort, allowing evil to take root instead of your fruit in our hearts, homes, culture, and country. Please forgive us. Now with this declaration of rededication, we humble ourselves, pray and seek your face, turning from our wicked ways, that you would heal our lives and our land. Please purify and renew our hearts with holy attributes, affections, attitudes, and actions, to love you with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. We give you glory as we repent and rededicate our lives and our nation to you. For 250 years, you have guarded and guided America in wisdom, grace, mercy, and love. We praise and thank you for our founding fathers, for all who sought you in fervent prayer throughout history and answered your call to defend justice and freedom, to protect and serve, preach and teach, innovate, communicate, learn, work, worship, and establish our laws. May your kingdom come and your will be done in our lives, our families, the church, education, business, military, government, arts, entertainment, and media as it is in heaven. We prayerfully commit to glorify God among the nations, seeking him in all generations. That was a good one. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our budget session. So do you want to kind of start us off, Julianne?
Sure. Good morning, Commissioners. I think what I'd like to do first is just kind of take a look at the capital outlay. I know that we're still waiting on some quotes and the May 20th regular commission meeting. I will put an item on the agenda to review any additional budget items, and we should have those quotes at that time. However, Mike Muller was here, and he was able to get an updated quote on that one, the shotgun. And so, just in case you have any questions for him, the quote should be in the packet.
Did you get it, the 2249? Okay, got it.
And I didn't bring that book.
Did it have it there?
Well, no, not that book. The yellow book.
And another thing is the vehicle
No, he's looking for the
inspection
yellow.
is on hold. And that, that was
This is last year's.
the road department that was on hold. And, I think once we have some of the other quotes and some additional updated revenue and expense information, which we should have by the May 20th meeting, maybe we can, decide on if any of those can be funded. And then I think there was for the convenience center, the metal building. I don't know if we could possibly get a grant for that. I don't know if that's something that Pablo is looking at.
Pablo is looking at it.
I'm gonna get my life in order up here, all these papers.
I know, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay, does anybody have any other questions on capital outlay?
I'm just comparing my notes. I'm almost done.
Yes, and if you see any discrepancies, please let me know. The items that were approved or not approved, pretty sure I have them correct, but, it's all possible I missed something.
So, on the rifle range back, I got the quote here, but we're still waiting for the alarm system quote?
Yes, I've already emailed Trent. Trent is off today, but I emailed you to have all the information to me by the 20th. So if I get it sooner, I'll email it to you.
On the detention center, have a yes by the kiosks.
Yes, actually, I said no as far as capital outlay, those will be purchased. The $12,590 a year is gonna be paid for by the tech grant that they use, or that they receive.
Okay.
So I guess technically that should be a yes, it's just, it's not being paid from capital outlay, it's gonna be paid by a grant instead.
Okay. And then 16, I don't have the wristbands.
There was an additional quote that Nina had given to me that was put as a loose page inside your department book. I didn't have it in time originally on the original capital outlay sheet that I gave to you, but let me see if I can find that.
Are those the wristbands that monitor their blood pressure and heart rate and all
All their
that?
vitals. We have some, but we don't have enough.
Okay, I knew we got some.
Second round of purchase.
Yes. Yeah, I believe it's from APIC Solutions.
Okay. Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Otherwise,
In the
I'll
book.
let you go talk.
In the book.
Oh, there was another item that was on hold, it was the solar mobile surveillance trailers. So those items we can take another look at, meeting on the 20th.
I think by then, once we look at social programs today and make cuts, then on the 20th, when I have updated quotes, we'll know where we stand better with revenues, so you can decide if you want to fully cut some of those items or not.
And then I have on the road department, the Rose transfer boom.
Yeah.
I have it marked no, and
Oh,
I
you
see
do?
it's on hold.
Okay. I can mark that as no.
Do you guys have that as well?
Let me look. Yeah, I have no of that
Okay.
as well.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have.
You have anything else on that? You want to go ahead and we'll continue on?
Sheila?
Oh, we gotta come back to that.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get these.
Okay, now which book am I doing grab?
No,
I'm struggling. I'm on the struggle bus.
on page 211 in your big book.
We do this here. This here. How are you?
How you doing?
Ready?
Yes, we're ready.
So, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I know you guys are busy. What we're asking for, most importantly, is the weed control that saves us so much in labor. But keeping the 21 acres clear of weeds is not a small task, and that's been a godsend for us. The second thing is lighting for the back of the announcer stand at the rodeo arena. It's really dark back there, pretty dangerous, you know, when you've got a lot of people and livestock and all of those things. We're asking for some ice makers, filters and installation for that. We, you know, ice is, it's hard to go off site during fair and come back in with ice, just because the traffic and the parking lots, and it's very difficult. The metal roof on the barn, there's places where it has rotted through, and we got several bids. They first talked about having it insulated, but I think the board, most of the board is in agreement that it's probably not a good idea to have it insulated and not protected from the birds that are in there, because we have so many pigeons. And even the pavilion, there's an owl that has torn up the insulation in the pavilion. So they're thinking, you know, September, when they use the barn, it's not as hot. Probably could do without the insulation on that. And the reason we're requesting a new entryway to the pavilion is because when the pavilion was set up, it was set up with a middle gate. It's not very big, especially for egress. The other thing that happens is the vendors, they want to be to the left. They don't want to be anywhere in the pavilion to the right, because they feel like everybody goes in and they go to the left because they go up to the carnival and all of that. So we'd like to make a entryway that's a 30-foot entryway, which Matt Clark was like, that would be so nice for fair, because it's hard, you know, with the sheriff's department on their side-by-sides and stuff, just to get in and out of that little teeny gate. So that's why we were proposing doing an entryway. And I tried to have AI put it in there. Wasn't very successful, but. And the last is the bathrooms for the rodeo arena. I think they were planning to put those in the practice arena, from what I'm told.
Sheila, I got a couple of questions for you on this.
Yes, sir.
When I was on the rodeo board, we always kept, I mean, not a lot of money, but they always kept a steady money in the bank account, that we would do some improvements to the arena, like the rope and box, and we bought the tractor attachments and blah, blah, blah. Don't they still have that funding?
So right now, I mean, because it's public knowledge, I'll just tell you, there's about $57,000 in their account. But I have to tell you that, so we have Friends of the Fair sponsorships. People sponsor rodeo. Last year, rodeo was sponsored $14,500. And after all the rodeo expenses, they made about $2,500. After $14,700 in sponsorship. So they're not bringing, you know, the cost to put on a rodeo is so extremely high that you don't make, unless they raise their tickets, and they're at 15 now, and I think they're a little afraid to do that. One thing that they had on there was more bleachers, which I would have thought they would have kept on there to create more revenue, but they decided to go a different route.
I just kind of feel that improvement, that the rodeo board should do the improvements on the smaller ones, like the lighting in the back. That's been an issue since that arena's been there. So the other deal on the roof on the barn, I don't know who got these quotes, but these quotes are so far off, there's nothing.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I mean, there's no way I would accept any of these.
Yeah.
I mean, you go from 162,000 to 1.1 million.
Yeah, they're apples and oranges, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm all about taking care of our property and I understand, every time I go out there, I look at the holes and I look, it needs to be done, but there's not all these bids.
Yeah.
I wouldn't spend that kind of money on this, so.
I'm not in disagreement with that at all. That was kind of disheartening how they came in.
What's your bucket list?
My bucket list is gonna be the weeds, the ice maker, and, getting a new entryway put in. But
Did you get prices on the entryway?
yeah, there's Ortiz, I got one from Japanese Construction, and it was high. But Ortiz had a couple options, so I put in the budget the mid-level option. We could even go down to the base option. I just feel like all of our revenue that we get to keep afloat, we get from that side of the fence, from those vendors, from, the carnival, and any rentals that we do over there, that's how we keep afloat.
So, the only one you got a quote from was from Jack White?
No, I got this one from Ortiz. I thought I put that in there.
All in,
So this picture
I have that.
right here, is that the premium? Is that,
No, I think this would be like more like.
Yeah, for the bathroom.
okay,
More like a basic, and then we wouldn't have, so it would just be like one bowl. Jack Wade had done the one on Tiger Drive, and so they kind of went off the plans on that one. It was pretty big, and, they had. Because what I'm thinking is, maybe if we could get some of it funded, that I could get some sponsors, kind of like they did for Tiger Drive with the little tiles, and put it on there.
And when I talked to Trent on the roofing deal, maybe he needs to get and figure that out and get that addressed with Eric on the maintenance on the building. This is,
Well, and I did meet with one of the board members at the fair before this application was due, and I asked them, please only provide quotes that Trent has reviewed. So
well, he
Oh,
looked
he
at
did not
these.
tell me that. I'm
yes,
so sorry.
you know who I met with.
Yes,
I
I'm
said,
so
please
sorry.
work with Trent to make sure, because we're gonna do the work in the procurement process, sometimes it's a little costlier when
Right.
you do contracts out.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure we had accurate quotes,
Yeah.
so yeah.
I have a, Cardio, put in a quote, it was just late, but it was more to the same, it was within a few thousand of the Rock Canyon one. So,
But see, the Rock Canyon one's doing an overlay, which, I mean, I have my feelings on that, but the other one that cost Casa del Sol, they're removing the stuff. I mean, like I say, none of them are even
The
close
scope
to.
of works is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I told I told Dean that, that these are apples and oranges, how do we?
Yeah. So until something a little more consistent, that's why I want to get Trent involved in it and
And I kind of think, like, I didn't realize the Rock Canyon one was just overlay, so they were gonna just overlay it over that old stuff. Yeah, I don't like that idea because, doesn't rust, it's like cancer, it's gonna go to the overlay.
Exactly.
And then it won't look good. But the other thing is, it's not just the roof, the electrical there it's so hodgepodge together that I fear that it's probably not the safest. We have problems with it during fairly the entire time, things popping, we had to have an electrician out yesterday to fix, from the gun show, one of the old men backed into a piece of conduit and broke it, and so he was out there fixing it, and he said, if you turn the arena lights on, there's another box up by the extension office, right outside Kelly's window. There's another switch there. He said, if you switch that on when those arena lights are on, it's gonna backfeed it, and it's gonna, ruin all those breakers. And he said, and it's really dangerous. So he goes, I can't leave it like that. He said, where someone could accidentally, switch it up. So he just took it apart and left it there. But yeah, nobody can switch it now. So there's a lot of those things, and we have so many electrical services. We pay about $1,600 a month in electric for 2 offices, really, because we have all these services, and I don't know how to fix that, how we can get it down to just a few services instead of all of these services that we have to pay for.
That's, however, it's wiring, that's the service from the main power feed. And you may want to get Eric to go out and look at whatever she's talking about on that, because that will start a fire at the back feed.
Yeah, and I'll show him what the electrician, it was, I think it's Apex Electric, that came out yesterday and did all of that for us. But yeah, he said, I went ahead and did that, and one of the ticket booths, it didn't have a breaker for the air conditioner, and he's like, I just didn't feel comfortable leaving that way either, and so he fixed that. I'm like, well, I guess it was good that the guy hit the conduit, and then we found out, that we got some issues.
So that also his insurance.
Yeah, they're paying, they're paying for it, so, but as far as the barn, I really think that at that time, we need to look at getting all those old dinosaur lights out of there and getting big old lights that don't even work anymore, and the electrical, like it needs to be redone correctly, where it's just not people that just kind of hodgepodge it. We had the same issue with the water bills. We had so many different services, and we've now shut them all off but one, which has saved us about $900 a month. So now we don't know, we'll have to see at fair if we have to turn on another meter, because it's like in a loop, I guess. If that would give us more pressure, or, during fair, we don't want to lose all of our water pressure, so we may have to turn one of them on for the month of fair, but for now, we just, instead of paying the $260 a month for the commercial water meter, we just been shutting them off.
Well, if you got low pressure, that problem with, you're on a residential meter, which is a little bitty one.
Yeah.
If you do your commercial, it's a bigger flow, so you're gonna get more water, so that's gonna really solve your problem there, but I'm trying to remember, we had electrical issues out there not too long ago, and Eric was, I thought, trying to take care of it. About a year or so ago, it was on some panels somewhere, I remember. Dean came in, we were talking about it, but it's, maybe it's the very same thing, but it was on a panel box somewhere.
I know what it was. It was around fair. Dean was convinced that the electrical, because it was Zuni Electric when they did the Masons concession stand, they took down an overhead line that was no longer needed. And Dean thought that it had powered his announcer stand, but it didn't. We had to get the electrician out to explain it to Dean how all of that works. So I think he's.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I just remember in the past, there was an issue on something up
Yeah.
there. Is Dean still running the rodeo board part of it?
No, Adam Cardiel is.
Like I say, I still think they should pitch into that. I mean, we always did for years and years, but, so.
Well, and, it would be good to try to get some more revenue other than once a year over there. And we've had interest, but, and I understand why the rodeo committee doesn't like the monster truck thing. Like, we don't want them breaking cars in the arena. I get it. You don't want something to hurt.
It's in the bylaws, if you read a little book about nothing but animals being in an arena, and they got all kinds of little rules in there about.
We've never seen the bylaws for the rodeo.
When I was on the board, I tried to bring in, because all the other places around the states would always have those motocross, arena crosses is what they call them, motorcycle races, in the county arenas and stuff. Man, you talk about, you thought I'd really made somebody mad or killed somebody whenever I mentioned that.
I've been in that spot. I have been in that spot. Sorry, I'm just passing on. Don't, you just hate that there's, the arena and the barn is used once a year, and that's, you'd like to see it used more often, for sure.
I'd like to see some roping out there, I think could do that by every weekend.
Well, and the one thing about that arena cross deal, you did absolutely nothing but stick your hand out and get a check.
Yeah.
I mean, they come in and did all the dirt work, they cleaned it up, they get their insurance on it, the whole
Yeah.
9 yards,
Yeah.
and they were like, absolutely no.
Yeah.
There was still some old timers on that board when I was there. They ain't got no motorcycle in my arena.
Yeah. And they get passionate about it. It's like, okay, I understand. So,
Okay, anything else?
well, thank you for your time, and you guys have a good day.
You too. Have you heard from that Galera?
No.
Okay. So we'll get back to the budget.
Can we take just a second, I wanna go up and get my other book? Are we gonna need the other book to look at some of this stuff when we go through?
I think
Or
we're
just off of that
the
right
plan
there?
is really to go through community services today, and then we'll follow up on capital outlay on the 20th.
Okay. There we are.
I know my hands are frozen too, it's cold.
services. I thought that's what we were doing. I only got one of them.
We don't have anybody, we're just waiting on what's otherwise.
I don't know if they're gonna show up or not, but the goal was just to take her list and start checking them off or marking them off.
Oh, so we want to finalize
Do we have
that.
two of these?
Okay.
Yeah, mine are almost the same, Amy's got two that are totally different.
For the, okay.
Because I only have one.
I have the one from the last meeting. This was the one we did on first. And this is the one that was given to us today.
And I've got two, but they're, I don't have one from the first, these are both the 29th. They have different numbers.
Okay.
So we're just on community service right now. We want to just start, like,
I've got,
number one in the book.
I got notes. You want to go down with this?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So you're gonna start on this paper and go in order, or you're gonna go in order of the book?
The paper should be in the same order as the
Yeah,
book
I think it is.
alphabetically.
Yeah.
And it should be the one that has, food column,
Right.
right?
So in all of this, something that I struggle with in all of the requests is that they were requesting like raises and salaries and benefits when we can't do that for our own.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's something that I kind of wanted to talk about where you guys were on it. In all of the requests that have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
And you're talking about 100% Otero, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So they have $110,000 increase from their ask from last year.
And 64,000, that's the van.
So how does that work when we give equipment like that to a nonprofit? We don't own it.
Are you talking about the van?
Yep.
If you were to do that, that means to have additional, contractual requirements, like lien and, it should be title use, disposition provisions, and, allocation of how the use will apply to county residents and repayment or reversion. And in the event that something happens to it or it's disposed of in less than 5 years.
I'm kind of on the same train of thought with the raises. We need county vehicles that we're probably not going to be able to fund all of them, so I can't see funding some, you know what I mean? We already have needs that probably we aren't going to get to fund that we need also, so.
Commissioners, and Julianne and I kind of talked about this, we really want to see funding with the actual program, the hands-on. And if they don't have the funding for salaries, they may have to step back a little on the program that they're providing, just because we can't fund everybody that way.
Right, requests this year are just insane. I mean, they just grow every year, but this year it's just not sustainable for us to do it.
And I should have asked this, but the PIT count, isn't that funded through the state?
That's what I thought.
What was her reasoning last year for not asking for anything? She just, too late?
No, she came, I just don't remember.
I don't know, I didn't receive the money last year during the time. Maybe I put them on my last year's books.
This is what,
Yeah. This is all I'm thinking. One,
they're doing the trainings.
the days involved.
Just the 7-day schedule thing, is that what you're pointing out?
Yeah. I do want to confirm about the PIT count, just to make sure that it is state funded.
I'll make a note, I'll find out for you.
In the new agreement, we want to put a clause where they have to attest that they're not already receiving funding from somewhere else for the specific thing. And if they are, they can't double dip.
Okay.
So that needs to be clear.
And when you make these decisions today, I don't think we've been strict enough with them spending the money on what you intend for them to spend the money on. When I do those agreements, he'll do his first run through the legal part. I'm gonna actually write out what the program is that you approve, and it is only to be spent on that.
I agree.
I do too.
Yes.
Okay, so do we agree on the 10,000 for the 7 scheduled days of vote?
That's fine.
On requests that are for property that we own, or buildings that we own, anything that is, like infrastructure or, maintenance on the property or adding to it, in most cases, we should probably move that to facilities instead of this.
And then we run that program, and there's no reimbursing them, and
Like the musical fairgrounds and
Yeah.
stuff and all that?
Yeah, thanks to the flicker, like the seats.
Right.
Yeah.
When you said the Flickinger, like they asked for seat repair, they bought those seats though. The chairs,
that is true, they own,
They own those seats, okay.
so
All right. If
there's
it's something they
some of
own,
that.
okay. Yeah, it depends on if it's that we own it or they own it.
Yeah, so I don't know whenever they leave, if they're gonna move, take all those seats out, I don't know, but.
And that's the thing, if they aren't, we should transfer it, to be part of the county, property under our agreement with them, and then it would be facilities, line item
Yeah.
covering that.
Like the keying of the locks and stuff like that, I agree with you 100% on that, and whatever you decide to do on it. I just don't know if they're taking the seats with them whenever they finally, that place goes away, or what the deal happens.
It's never gonna go away.
No. Can't go away.
Probably not in our lifetime.
we
Okay.
go with the 10 on that one. Is that one all right? Okay, and then the chamber, I feel like I would like to fund all of that because they are 100% economic development right now.
Oh, my, yes.
So, I'm for full funding of the chamber.
I want to take note that it's already written in for Otero County days in this request too, so that's covered.
I gotta get to the chamber board first.
And I think your statement about programs, are we on to the next one?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. The statement about funding programs goes back to Main Street too, because covering an employee should be on them. And then rent should be on them.
I'm at a 0 for Main Street this year. I mean, we helped them out a bunch last year, but
And if it was some sort of program in here,
Yeah.
that's something we could consider, but I don't wanna.
we can't pay somebody else's employees when we can take care of the county employees, so. Okay, the library,
So
I'm
you do,
sorry, Main Street, what did y'all decide to do? We were having a
0.
site. 0, okay. I'm sorry.
We're just kind of back on it, you know, we gotta take care of the county employees before we can be paying for other people that have employees. On to the library,
what'd you say on the Main Street? Yes,
0.
for the whole amount?
Yep.
And the libraries is a match deal, so we need to be real careful on that.
But we did a 0 on that one, I think he wrote the whole amount.
So we're, nothing,
Yeah.
okay, that's what and we're doing the amount on the library.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Okay, now I'm
It's a
caught up.
match.
And that one was 5,000 more than it was last year.
Yeah. And that's a $40,000 federal match.
So Julianne, okay, the library, while we're looking at it, last year we did 35,000. How current, this is the 23rd, they've only used 10,000.
Let me see, we may have some additional expenses in, let me see. Yeah, it's currently 10,000, but I believe we just received another payment request from them upstairs, it hasn't been processed yet. So,
So for basically 2 more months, unless you have something that's gonna come up, they still haven't used the amount that they've asked for.
and then some of them, if they haven't used everything by June 30th, they, if we haven't paid them everything by June 30th, some of them submit like a monthly payment request, and they need to wait till June 30th to have all their expenditures in. We give some of these expenses will, whatever is remaining of the encumbrance, could potentially roll over and we'll pay it, in July.
Was last year a federal match?
Yes.
It was, okay. And do you have like the past several years, did they fully expended everything every year or?
Yes. So actually that should be on here. So for the library, in '23, it was $50,000 that they expended. I don't have it, I'm pretty sure that's what the budget was. In '24, 30,671. Let me see, actually, 24, the budget was 50,000. They expended 30,670. 25, the budget was, it was actually 35,000, but they had 19,000 remaining from the prior year that they did submit for reimbursement in July. So we ended up paying them 54,000. And then this year so far, yeah, they expended the 10,000, but like I said, I know we have another pay request upstairs, I don't know the exact amount.
So if they don't spend all the money that we give them by June 30th, it goes back into our budget, right? Into our, it doesn't, I mean, they have to have it by the
If we haven't
7th.
paid them any remaining amounts by around July 17th, it goes back to our budget.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because we do give them a couple weeks to submit their final, but only through June 30th, expenditures through June 30th, so they
They
can't.
can't take them into July, okay, makes sense.
I would go back to what we did last year.
That, I wrote 30 on here, but I didn't know, I don't know what 35.
Yeah, I would do 35.
Yeah.
We just can't keep going up and up.
No search and rescues, I'll go to senior.
I wrote, what is senior again, about
Yeah. Their total is 52,305. Okay, I say yes on both of the seniors. Are you good with that?
Which one?
Both of the seniors request the Meals on Wheels and transportation.
Okay. With that. Would be- Oh, no. So we're going to cap.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, there's 5,000, but actually there's almost 7,000 more than last year. Julianne, you had an idea, you were trying to get down to, this was 1.7, what they're asking, you were trying to get down to what number?
500,000.
Well, that's almost not giving anybody anything.
But I mean, that's, at this point, that's what I think is probably feasible.
And you were recommending for sure, the PMS, the medical one,
That's a contract.
Yeah, we have to do
That's
that one.
in social programs.
Yeah, and we had talked about that a little bit, that possibly we should, originally it was just paid by the general fund, but we decided to change it to be part of the community services as a reimbursable expense, which actually the reimbursable expenses makes more sense, because then we are funding the actual expenses rather than just saying, okay, here's a dollar amount quarterly, whether you actually use that or not. But I think even if it's not part of this program and we're just funding it separately from community services, I think it can still be done on a reimbursable basis. So I don't know if we want to remove it from this and just, you know.
We can still go with a similar contract that RB has designed for it. They just don't need to necessarily present and you decide whether we want to cut it or not, because contractually, that's what we pay them.
so that shouldn't even be considered in your, if we're trying to get to your 500,000.
I mean, yeah, we still have to pay it out of the general fund, so, you know,
To me, since it's a contract, we don't have to do them for long.
Oh, that's true.
We cut 240,000 from
That's
that
true.
one.
So,
She put it back in there, so that offsets that
So I think,
7,000.
yeah,
And
good point.
my rough numbers from our last meeting, I have it down at 800,000. Just based off of what they presented and my rough numbers. So, that's, that make you feel better?
Right.
Okay.
Was that counting the 100,000 then, for them?
The Presbyterian,
Presbyterian?
I just marked, no, we're gonna take that off now. I just wrote 0 right here.
but was that included in your 800,000 before? So that would drop it down like 700,000.
But I didn't have the chamber on here when I had that.
Okay.
So we're kind of just trading numbers.
Okay.
Because that's a big cut.
It is a big cut.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take Presbyterian off of this.
We'll move it into the general fund.
Okay, that'll help.
Yeah, take it off this list.
Okay. So, last year for CAPT, we gave them 25. They spent 20. Now they're asking for 30.
I know that's another one that just keeps growing.
They will be using the full 25. We actually do have one additional pay request since I've been giving you this. So they've spent $23,024 and we have like less than 2,000 left. And they will spend that before June 30th.
How about we say at 25?
I would stay at 25.
We're gonna hit that 500,000 real quick.
And COVID's gone way up too.
That's another one, salaries and benefits.
My thoughts, comments on that would same as last year, 10,000.
That's what I wrote down too.
We'll be good with that.
How much?
10.
Yeah.
They asked for the exact same amount as last year.
And I will tell you, this program keeps juveniles out of our
Yeah,
detainment and saves us dollars there.
probably
It's a
worth
good
it
program.
for.
So 109,854?
Okay, so we're going Flippinger now?
Yeah.
So if we do away with the keying, oh, what's the other stuff? All that advertising.
Seat repair, the LED video kiosk.
Why are you doing the key? I thought because they already did it.
The keying? No, they haven't done it yet, but they wanna do it, cause they have too many keys floating around town. And they wanna have it rekeyed to where they have a little control on who comes in and out of there.
Which is probably a good idea.
Yeah, and you want to do away with the key?
No, I wanna move it over to Eric.
Well, we're still spending it, you just tell us where you want us to spend
Oh,
it.
I see,
Yeah.
okay.
But taking it off, and then the other two, the seat repair, I mean, I can vouch for that one, cause I've done a lot of seat repair already.
So do the seat repair and the video kiosk.
I would, maybe get a little advertisement for it.
Okay, I agree with that.
So how do you wanna do that? You wanna leave the keying, or just transfer the keying money over to Eric's?
We'll just move that amount of money, actually, Eric can maybe get a better quote with
Yeah.
who we use, and he can pay for it, we'll just bump up his for however it costs.
Okay.
So that is 3774.45.
Okay. 37, how much?
3774.45. And this Forever Home, I'm at 0 on this. It's a new thing and,
I was thinking because dog breath no longer exists, and Forever Home and Rescue in its place, they just have an increase request of $700. And that's why I was asking if it could be very specific that it was Otero County
only,
only.
only.
Yes, if we could put that in their contract. And, I don't know what it looks like now without not having dog breath at the facility.
When I looked at the last report, transports were still going out. When I get their monthly report, there are still transports out.
Dog breath or the?
I don't, well, her report doesn't tell me who's doing it, it just says she's transporting out.
But I think that is now Forever Homes that's doing that. I don't know that for sure, but, and there's more than one.
Right.
There's others, so,
We can be as specific as you want to be.
you know, I think Otero County Rescue, stay
Only.
unit, only.
And then 6,000?
I would say yes, because it will just changing organizations.
Okay.
So for 6,000?
Yeah.
Kids Inc. is a match.
I would do 5 or 6 on those, on that one.
I would put 6.
You want to do the full 6?
Yeah. Did the muscular lady ever make it in?
No, she didn't, and just so you are aware, when they fill out these applications, they're made aware if they don't present, they don't get any funding, so it'll be up to you to decide if they still get funding.
It's kind of because I don't know what the travel encompasses, I don't know what the registration encompasses. I would be more inclined to do meals and recreation for them only.
For quite a few years, we did fund just $10,000 for them. It's just been in the last couple of years.
Yeah, 25, it was 11,000, and 24, it was 6,000.
I'd be willing to do the 10.
Is, Tim? monthly to 44 different people.
Where did you get that? I didn't see
I
that.
asked them that last
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
How much was it?
44 people and 145 book average checkouts.
A month?
Yes. I'm a bookie, so it's hard for me. I'm a book hoarder, so I would just turn this program into 10,000 times what it already is and have 10 times the people renting books up there in the mountains.
Yeah.
To me, I wish they would build this program out better. I mean, just to reach 45 people, I mean, good, I'm glad they're utilizing it, but gosh, they could do so much better.
So it's 44 people per month and 145 books checked out to those 44 people.
Yes.
I would still give them
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah.
And the co-op, we gotta do that, that's not a,
Yeah.
so we'll do that full 126.
26, 852.
Okay, and then the fairgrounds,
Commissioners on the fairgrounds, if you want to consider the roof, let me get with Trent and see if I can get us an updated quote.
Yeah, let's do
before
that.
the 20th.
I actually checked for the fairgrounds, the weeds, the lighting for the rodeo arena, the ice maker, and the new entry only.
No lighting.
For the road, the one that's
That arena has been like that for 100 years. They've made money every year on the rodeo, regardless of what you say, because I sit there and watch the books.
okay.
They can put a little money into that, and we used to when I was on the board. We put money back into it. They can do that,
Okay.
regardless of what she says.
so we're a yes on the weeds, the ice makers, and the entry to the pavilion.
I mean, that's a big chunk of that 500,000 right there that Julianne's trying to keep us at. For me only, I'm saying the weeds and the ice maker deal, because I do understand the deal with the ice,
Yeah,
and that's it. And because the other deal is, that roof needs to be repaired, so that's that's 100,
yeah,
it's gonna be 100 and under 200,000 somewhere, I can assure you.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm okay, no entry, we're gonna work on the roof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm about taking care of our structures. We gotta do maintenance on our buildings and what we own.
right. Okay, so we'll do the 12,700 and the 5840.
Okay, and then I will get a better quote on the roof and we will put it into Eric's department.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is 18, 5, 40, 30. And yes, waffle.
Yeah, on the film office, 1,000. Can't believe what she does for so little. Hey, the soil and water conservation, we gotta do them, those dams are gonna be a big deal.
RB, we need to figure that out, because there ain't enough money in the whole Otero County to do what some of the suggestions are for that. We need to support them, but we need to figure out which direction they're gonna go, or what we're gonna go. Now that I found out it's all us, and really, they're just a face in the picture.
There's no real good answers, and we gotta figure out something, but none of the answers are great. them and us to work together to deal with flood issues across the county. And as you know, a lot of the complaints that you receive is in regard to flooding, and it's due to the fact that houses have either been constructed on the side of a mountain where the water comes down, or they're down here in the basin where all the water comes down to eventually. And there wasn't forward thinking and planning put into place when a lot of that was laid out. And so you get the complaints, but you don't have specified funding for dealing with that to the scale that it requires. And a mill levy that was specific to handling these issues would enable soil and water to do their mission and partner with us, where we could take the funding that they're getting and use our resources and employees and deploy them to deal with these issues. And I think that is, that's not going to deal with these dams, but it will, and it's something that needs it in place for dealing with these things for the future. The dams are separate.
I mean, and they're also, they work on the weed program too, but we really need to figure something out on that, because like I say, it's come down to the point, in my eyes, it's, you either get off the pot or you get on one or the other. Saying that nicely.
Yeah.
Because there's no other options on it. I see. If you decommission them, what are you going to do to the people down? If you don't take care of them, what happens? I still feel the alarm system, first time big rain comes and washes all that brush down, and then it's gonna plug that alarm up, and that ain't gonna work either. So, I don't know. Now, we're liable for it if it happens. So how do you go about also, like the RV park that's right there, why can't they have something, a stake in a program too? It's protecting them and that house right underneath of it.
We can't even get a sign put up for people that, and we were working on that sign, almost a year now. To put up a sign to let people sign up to be alerted for emergencies. That's my view for that one.
Yeah, those are steps that we've got to take and are working towards. And a lot of that needs to happen in the next 2 months.
Yes.
Well, Matt was supposed to have put up a sign a year ago this time.
Yes.
I will assist him with that.
And he was also supposed to have the firewise.
Yes, I just looked at a proof this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on this. I checked in with him this week. I'm on it.
So what are your suggestions on that, RV? On this? I mean, we need to do the money because but it's,
And it's also a federal match.
yeah.
I wrote the full amount.
Yeah, I think we need to do the full amount. And I mean, I know it's an ongoing issue that we have to deal with, but
I think that most of that is separate apart. I mean, some of it's going to addressing those dams, but it's also going towards the weed management, and especially the African root, which is significant, and then it also assists with grants and to things that are mitigating flooding and erosion and getting ground cover and all things that we need.
so we did the full,
Equitable.
okay. So 116.50 on that one.
Yeah. And then 01 Presbyterian, New
Yeah,
York.
because we need that one.
And then senior,
on Sacramento, they were the ones we had the issues with.
We're all good.
Everything
Out of
good?
the state, yes.
Okay.
They're doing what they're supposed to do.
To get that lined out.
Yep.
School engineering.
And this one, I mean, I want to help this school so bad because, I mean, the whole reason the school was, we fought for it was because of the test track going in. When we went out there and toured that, they said, what do you need? We asked them, what do you need? And they said, we need people to work here, that want to live here. So that was the whole thought behind Sacramento School of Engineering and Science. So I want to help them, but I don't, they don't own that property.
There's lots of issues in the way of this request.
Yeah.
And the number one would be that they don't own this property. Two, if you were to fund something like this, it couldn't be exclusive to the school. It would have to be open to the community to use. And so then, you gotta weigh that out. And so, yeah.
Okay.
And, I wish they would have asked for like a
Something
drone.
else. Yeah,
They
something
teach
else.
kids how to fly a drone or
Yeah.
something, that, but we can't, I don't think we
Yeah.
can on the property.
So that's a 0 on that one.
On the engineering?
Yeah. And it breaks my heart, but I just don't know how we do that one. And I'm a no on this one because it's all office operations and administrative support.
In my notes, I wrote same last year.
I say the same as last year too, that
What was it, 20?
20.
Okay, I would do that.
I wish I could remember what Ralph told me he told Timberon about their solid waste disposal.
Ralph and Joe Lewandowski went up there 2.5 months ago to look at it,
Yeah.
to look at operations, whether it's something that we completely take over, like we or Cloudcroft have kind of our own station up there. They wanted to use Joe as a consultant, but we can't pay for that, so I told Joe, you're gonna have to work separate with him. So I know they're looking at some different options. For us to do it, it's very, very costly, but I haven't been provided those numbers for me to make a decision on which route to go.
Ralph was, I remember right, he was telling me they need to, he suggested they get who they were going with, more rotations in their dumpsters instead of, I think he told me once or twice a week, you need to do at least 3 times a week or something like that. He was telling me that. That was his suggestion to him. And that's the match funding too, they're getting.
Yeah, they're gonna apply for some funding.
So the only one is matching is
solid waste disposal.
Yeah.
As a special district, they do have the ability to try and put in a mill levy to pay for their services. So, and it would be specific to the residents in that district.
So what are you saying?
Are you
Go
saying
ahead
fund
and
it
throw
for
that
them?
on it.
That would be not funding them, that would be, or, I mean, you could fund them some, but I think it's worth pushing them towards that if they're going to have their special district, that they need to work to fund it and sustain it and actually make it do
Well,
what it's supposed to do.
If we did fund them, I would say like what Amy just said, that 12,000, which is a match, they would get more for their dollar.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a gap, fill a gap for them for the year, but that is the rest of the county subsidizing services for that area. So, for what that's worth.
I would do the 12 if they're gonna go in for that other deal. Can you, if we do the 12, can we have it stated in there for the expansion project, the matching?
For the match only, yes.
Because we had the development council that we budgeted $4,400 for that they didn't ever use. So that rolls back in also to the fund. And then we moved to the timber on water. And where we have given them 7,500 and then 1,500. And if we give them 12 for a match, and then we have that roll in, so we're still okay. We're still better than we were 2 years ago. Did I make that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
except you said 1,500, it was 15,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a little different.
Yeah, we're still, yeah.
okay.
So 12K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing with Chula, so I see the full amount for the
Yeah,
match.
because they're doing it all for meals and.
Yeah.
That's 15 more than last year though. They had 60, now they're asking for 75.
There's a big jump. I know everything's gone up, the food and all that.
So I actually underlined where they utilized everything we gave them last year for their match program because they have it itemized. So in their little budget and expenditures, their transportation, they use that portion of it, our part of it, 20, and then 20 for a federal match for the home deliveries, and then 20 for intergovernment agreement. So that's how they 100% used what we matched last year.
I would do the 75. I mean, I know we're trying to cut, but
Wow, I got somebody that asked for less than the year before.
I would say yes to weed on all of their stuff.
So that 4,000 for repairs and maintenance, wouldn't that, does that go to?
Well, here's the thing, with our lease management agreements, and we're trying to get a current one with them, all of our tenants are responsible for routine maintenance. We've then pay for roofing, HVAC, flooring, windows broke. So this is kind of a tricky one because we don't have a current agreement in place with them. But typically, deflect, you know, they pay for routine maintenance, toilet plugs, filters need to be changed. So yeah, this is,
I say the full amount because if we ever have to use this in an emergency, we need it.
Yeah. Well, and they use that community center
Yes.
probably more than any other. Therapy.
This is the heartbeat of Alamogordo.
It kinda is,
I put the full amount on both of them.
yeah.
Julianne, you got your computer going? You got a total?
where are we at?
Yeah, I actually
It ain't even close to 500.
full list one more time just to make sure I have everything down, but, I'll figure out how to find the money, I guess.
We cut some, we just didn't cut enough. It's really hard to cut down to 500,000 when you have some very major components in there, like the soil and water deal that could, you know,
The senior center.
the seniors, yeah.
That's the goal, doesn't mean we're gonna reach that goal this year, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
I still haven't heard his presentation on what he come up and said he found
Who's
on
that?
that RB, on his money or to help you on that IA or whatever they call that.
Oh, yeah, she's tinkering with that now.
So it'd be nice to know where you're at there.
I mean, and that's what kind of helped me to reduce the $3.3 million deficit and get us back into the black in the general fund. Was reviewing some of that, and realizing that some of our revenue budget was too conservative because we always end up taking in more. So, yeah, I am starting to work with that, and I think it's gonna be really helpful. I just haven't had a chance to really dig into it and have it create some good reporting for me, so.
Okay, do we have anything else that we wanted to go over?
I think that was it today. And then on the 20th, we'll tighten up capital
Okay,
and we can give you some final numbers before then.
okay,
It'll look a little better.
okay.
Can you hit a total on that and tell me what it,
I just wanted to go, could you just run down the list real quick for me?
Okay.
The, what's approved?
Okay. We'll just start at the very first one, 100% Otero is 10,000. And the chamber is the full amount, the $559,999. And Main Street was 0. The library's 35,000. The seniors, both of those were fully funded, so the 30,789 and 21,516. Capped was 25,000. Cope was 10,000. The counseling center was the full amount, 109,854. The flick was $3,774.45. Forever Homes and Rescue was 6,000. Kids Inc. is 6,000. Mescalero was 10. The bookmobile is, the full amount, $1,050. Otero County Co-op is the full amount, $126,852. And Otero County Fair Association is $18,540.30. The film office is $1,000. Otero Soil and Water Conservation is the full amount, $116,500. And then Presbyterian, we're taking off this list and moving them. Sacramento Mountain Senior Services, $174,000, it's their full amount. The Sacramento School of Engineering is 0. Thrive is $20,000. Tiburon Water and Sanitation is $12,000. Tularosa Senior Program is $75,000. Weed Community is the full amount, $12,240. And then Zia is the full amount on those two, so it's $31,671 and $51,560.
So I got, that is $968,345. So that's cutting off 810, 850.
It's a good start. 100,000 didn't get cut, it got moved.
Yeah, not moving, yeah. What was it, 968?
968, 345, and 75 cents.
And tentatively, we may still be looking at a roof at the fairgrounds, but
Right.
we'll talk on the 20th.
Okay, does anybody have anything else?